Yes, so the meeting is recorded and will be posted on both Facebook and on my YouTube channel. And you're welcome to unmute yourself after the initial meditation. So if you could simply welcome your experience, whichever way it is, whichever way it's appearing to you, simply resting. You may want to close your eyes or lower your gaze, or whatever you're comfortable with. And notice the stillness, the peace. No need to do anything. No need to fix anything. Notice the breath, gentle movement, the flow that we refer to as breath. A subtle vibration throughout the body. Nothing to do and nowhere to go. And yet, here I am, this aware presence, effortless presence. Notice how an image or a thought appears to you effortlessly. And dissolves in the same space out of which it appears. You remain as you are, the wide open screen of awareness. That has no doors, no gates, no boundaries. No, no opposition, nothing opposing anything else, no opposition. In this moment of being, there is no time. Everything and nothing, just this moment of being. You experience your totality, the totality of the cosmos, the totality of the universe, as your very being. Borderless, open space. Everything is welcome effortlessly. And I am this welcoming. Notice that there is no effort required to be. Being is effortless. While in order to be somebody, effort is required, memory, stories, defending. While in the timeless moment, there is no such thing as effort. The peace of being is revealed from itself to itself as my very being. There is no separation in this peace. There is no duality in love. In this moment, it's a moment of not knowing. And this not knowing is all knowing. Nothing lacking and nothing in excess. No storyline. no past, no future. And yet in this moment of being, of presence, all pasts and all futures meet as this borderless awareness. That same awareness that is unchanged and unchanging, whether the body is 12-year-old or 40-year-old. That same awareness, same presence, same I-ness. You don't need to separate yourself from your reality, from your totality, from your wholeness. In fact, it is not possible to separate yourself from that which you are. Just an imaginary, illusory, separate me. Which is a game that we play. Unnecessary game. Separating ourselves from what? Notice how a thought appears to you, but you do not appear. A sound, a perception appears to you, but you do not appear, and yet you are undeniable. Awareness is undeniable. It knows itself as I know myself as I know the body, I know the world. But I know I as I. It is I which is this knowingness. And this knowingness is formless, colorless, shapeless. And yet it is absolute. the substance of all that is, all that appears. And this I awareness, that which hears these words, this moment, is not a feeling, is not a sensation, is not something which is perceived. It is not something which is contained. It is the formless reality of yourself and the formless reality of your experience. You don't need to overly preoccupy yourself with the body and with the world and with the mind. It is an endless preoccupation which is best handled lightly, allowing the universal order to take care of things. Like the sunlight warms the earth and brings light onto the earth. Like the elements produce moisture and rain and nourish the plants and nourish various creatures. Like the cosmic gravitational field operates in our galaxies and billion other galaxies to choreograph the dance which we call the world, the body, the mind. You do not need to overly preoccupy yourself about the world, the body, and the mind. And rather explore and contemplate the reality of consciousness, the reality of I, not the form and the shape of the body, not the form and the shape of the world, not the form, the shape of your neighbors, which is constantly changing and morphing. at your reality, the reality of I, of being. So we welcome ourselves to this contemplation and to this understanding. This welcoming is with every cell of our being, with every cell of the body, with every aspect of ourself. We welcome this understanding, which is that which we are, the understanding about the reality of awareness. You can relax and release the body, mind, the past, the future. So that the universal embraces you totally. Revealing to you that you are this infinite, invisible reality. The one reality, one and only reality, which has no name and no shape, and yet it goes by all names and all shapes without any exclusion. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to discuss or explore.
Magdi, I would.
Yes. Hi, Shiva.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear you.
I haven't put my video on right now. I can't. I'll put it on a little bit later.
Okay.
But on it for the sake of everybody, obviously including me, go back to something which we always have ended on all our last exchanges, which is suffering. Suffering and the alleviation of suffering, and which is the reason why the you that is you is offering these satsangs in the first place, right?
Well, that's one of the aspects of satsang.
One of the aspects, yes. So the overall situation here is that there has never been experienced a more harmonious, effortless resting in consciousness in life. And there's this incredible gratefulness and thankfulness for it. And you are among those who I thank from my heart. And it's sort of been very quiet on some level. I mean, you know me, I'm always doing something physically. I mean, I'm always building something, creating something, but internally it's been very, very quiet. And it is very quiet. So what I'm saying is maybe also a little pedagogical rather than only my experience, because I know the answer you will give me, but I still feel it's important to share the experience because, you know, and I'm picking up on what you said in your meditation, all is welcome, all is effortless. And so the experiences of this week, which I want to just choose one out of, is a perfect example. So I am speaking with my 90-year-old mom who lives in Germany on a twice day. I mean, not every second day, I want to say. We have FaceTime. We're very close. As you remember the story about finding humor about your old mother, I sort of found the humor with my old mother, and it's wonderful. And I'm her only real dear conversation partner, one of the only ones she can actually really fully share with. Mm-hmm. She lives isolated. She's not vaccinated. So on Monday, which is her choice, on Monday, I have a conversation with her, and she's not a sentimental lady on that level. So she's not a complainer or, you know, warrior on that level, and was an warrior. And so she's basically crying. She's falling apart in front of my face about as most of you know, Europe is mandatory lockdowns are happening, and it's very, very severe. So my mom gets the information that she already can't use any restaurants anymore or any public spaces, which for her at 90, living in her own home is fine. But she uses public transportation and taxis. And so she was crying on Monday because the German government is planning to implement this law about non-vaccinated people not being allowed to use taxis and public buses. And so regardless where your stance with this is, whether or not it is about control or it's about fear, whatever your position about it is, it's been really hard on this old woman. You know, she's crying, and I realize, however political I might have been just in the first phase of this whole global event, to get informed and get information not only from what they're feeding us, etc. I've recently, in the last months, really sort of being on a completely different level, which is just, being and spirituality and like, yeah, God's taking care of everything and the bad is part of God, and the control paradigm the separatist paradigm, which this whole thing is manifestation of, meaning fear and control, is going to fall apart anyway. So for you to do anything about it. And so I didn't watch all these like videos, which, one should really watch if one hasn't watched them. But the thing is, I got shocked by my emotional response to the suffering of my mom. I wasn't like, oh, all is welcome and no effort to be made and just let it roll out and she's going to get through it or something like that. I went into full action mode. I called all my people relevant to this story and what can be done, the doctor friends, et cetera, So she has a severe heart condition. So for her, the vaccine would be a disaster. So in any case, whatever the stance on this is, on the circumstance, it's now I'm confronted with the suffering of somebody. And how do I manage to say, all is welcome? Nothing needs to be done. Because I came to it after 24 hours, it subsided and it sort of got resolved. But for 24 hours, I was in the throng of, this shouldn't be like this, these assholes, how dare they, freaking Nazis. And, I was really going into a lot of emotion, which was an anger response to the distress I felt seeing the suffering of my mom. So how to deal with this?
Well, you have a situation, and it seemed like after your emotional reaction, you got on the phone and you took some steps. You called friends that could help your mom. I don't know, whatever. You do your best. There are certain things you can do. Of course, you're so far away from her, so it's there are serious limitations about how much you can do. But whatever you can do, you do to provide her or to friends or neighbors, or I don't know, I don't know the circumstances, but you do your best. You do whatever you can do to help her out with her food. Somehow, maybe somebody can shop for her. Now I think you can shop online, no?
Magdi, excuse me to interrupt you, but this again is not about practical solutions, which I found plenty of. Not that this is ever to be resolved, because the separatist paradigm cannot be resolved by finding a quick fix solution or putting the head into the sand or fighting it. We know that. It's about transcending it. So this whole world we are seeing in front of our eyes now is a manifestation of the paradigm of separation. Yes. It's white, it's male, it's about money, it's about power, about fear, about control. It's all perfumes of separation.
That's how that is. The world is that way. The world is the realm of separation. In the most of it, 99.9% of it is about separation. So what are you expecting something different?
No, but it's slapping in our face. I've been living with this incredible luxury of having full supermarkets and the time to heal my wounds and do all sorts of therapies, become teachers, run businesses in relative freedom. Well, and now we risk friction.
Right. So you are in different situation. You may have a certain situation that's different from your mom and different from others. Every person is facing a different situation. But what I'm saying is that this is how the world is. The world is the realm of impermanence, the realm of suffering, the realm of emotions, of separation, and also the realm of manifestation, including beautiful sunsets and beautiful sunrises, including the breath, including going for a walk. So that the realm of manifestation is that way. So do you expect it to be different? Well, right now it's not World War II. We're after World War II. We're before World War III. If it was World War II, you would be calling and asking a question about how come there is all this killing going on. Well, the killing is going on in World War II because this is the realm of manifestation. Now we are post World War II. We're in the realm of the pandemic. So you ask, why is this craziness and all this pandemic and all this madness going on? Because that's the realm of manifestation. The realm of manifestation is like that. What we have available to us is the possibility of coming to an understanding. First, of course, the understanding is that the realm of manifestation is not the reality. It is not where I'm going to bank. That's not where I'm going to put my chips. That's not where I'm going to put my assets. That I would rather turn my attention to that which is real and bank on that. So this is what we do in these meetings. We're basically looking at what is it that is real. Okay, well, there's obviously the realm of manifestation. And it's appearing right now to your mom in a very painful and difficult way. It's appearing to you in a very stressful way because obviously you love your mom and you're so far away, you'd like to help her and save her, but you have a limited capacity. So that's what I'm saying, you do what you can on the practical level. On the level of understanding, you need to come to the understanding that you can only milk this world, body, mind only so far. That's not where the goodies are. Happiness is not in the world.
It's always the same thing. Thank you so much for saying that, because this is such an old thing. It's this deep ingrained conditioned desire. It's total conditioning to be loved and to live in a world of loving beings. And all I see throughout history of humankind is the absolute opposite. I mean, I'm not saying all, but as you said, 90% of it. And that's always the same thing. At the end of the day, we always come back to this human suffering. And the question is, can we start manifesting, just as we manifesting a sunset, a different world of social interaction and social togetherness?
We cannot manifest the realm of beauty, love, peace, wisdom, and happiness as a separate self. I mean, the religion of this planet is the religion of separation, me, my, and mine. I mean, this is I'm preaching to the choir. You know that quite well. So your expectation is it's impossible to realize given what the current religion is.
Right. So it really requires whatever me is left in this body on the sense of identification to fully embrace and love the shadow which I see, not only in the world, but also inside of myself, I guess. Because otherwise, why would the world be like this?
Well, okay. One thing to understand about the shadow is that the shadow is related to me. The me, all the me, my thoughts, my feelings, my sufferings, my unhappiness. It's related to the sense of self. Yes or no?
No.
Well,
I'm talking concentration camps. I'm talking current abuse, suffering of my mom is crying. It's just one little tiny drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
that's me too. It's this environment of suffering which I'm facing on a daily basis because half of the world is wearing only half of their face of fear.
Okay, the personal.
So I'm sensitive. I'm sorry. I'm getting carried away. Sorry. Forget it.
The personal sense of separation is a sample of the sense of separation that is manifesting on this planet. The suffering, the hurt, the unhappiness that we experience at the local level is but a sample of the unhappiness and the sense of despair and suffering that we experience on this planet. Now, there is at least in our conversation, in our conversation about non-duality, the focus is on reality. What is it that is real? Because we're not interested in fixing Santa Claus's toothache, okay? Or, you know, whatever difficulty Santa Claus is having. So there is the sense of discrimination. We need to develop discrimination. We develop discrimination via our contemplation, our inquiry, and our understanding. That which we can come to understand is that there is one reality, and that one reality is consciousness, awareness. If you don't come to that, if you still are wavering around that, you are going to continue to waver around everything. So
I hear you. My Vivragya is good, Magdi. It's not about discrimination. It's not about understanding. This is not the question. The question is here to say, you know, and this is what so many Advaita teachers do, and where I think Rupert is actually very clear about that, saying that when we say there's only one reality, meaning consciousness is the only one reality, that's only one wing of the bird, because you can also do the tantric approach and saying everything which appears is reality, not in the sense of like separatist reality, but it's the reality expressing itself as an ephemeral reality.
Yeah, but these are, you know, these are not two statements. That's one statement. The statement that consciousness is the one reality does not include. Hold on. When you say one reality, it does not exclude the sunshine, does not exclude the breath. It does not exclude anything. It does not exclude the universe. So
it doesn't exclude travel bans.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So in that, what I'm trying to sort of like address is that means that the concentration camps and the controls and the abuses which we see on a daily basis are part of reality.
Well, then you need to take that question to somebody else than me, because I don't agree. There are degrees.
You don't agree?
There are degrees I don't agree. There are degrees.
Okay, so then tell me.
There are degrees
on what
reality. So
okay.
There are degrees of reality. Yes. In other words,
okay,
there is that which changes and there is that which does not change. Right? You agree or you don't agree?
Yeah, on one level, except that which changes is also part of the one non-changing.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there is that which changes and that which does not change. Do you agree?
Yeah, and they're one.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I hear what you're saying, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is that which changes and there is that which does not change. Do you agree?
Yeah, consciousness doesn't change and everything ephemeral is constantly changing.
Okay.
And that which changes.
So you agree. So you agree that there is that which changes and that which does not change, right?
Yes.
Yes. And do you agree that there is one reality?
That which changes and that doesn't change are one reality.
No, that's not the question.
No, but the answer.
No, the question is very simple. Do you agree that there is one reality? It's yes or no. I'm not asking you what is that one reality. Do you agree that there is one reality?
There's only one reality.
Okay, good. Now, would you agree, it's a question, and that reality is not something that changes?
Reality changes and doesn't change in the same time.
Okay, so the ocean, you can say that the ocean can be.
Are we going to go back?
Can be addressed, or it can be waves, right? So you could say that the ocean changes because there are waves, and it does not change because there are no waves. Is that what you're saying?
The ocean has weight, as an ephemeral, that's where we use that metaphor for, right? It's the ephemeral is the wave, and the ocean is the being. So
are you saying that the ocean changes because there are waves and does not change because there are no waves?
No, but that's not, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, let me ask it differently. Are you saying that when you dream that there is World War III, that you are both changeless because you are the dreamer, and you are the changing because there is World War III? Is that what you are saying? Did you get my question?
I think I get it. So what I would say is, my essential being is as well in the appearance of the World War II or III dream as it is in the being who's aware of that dream. A being is not the right word. Consciousness is aware of the dream going on in this character called Shiva or Wolfgang, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so that's reality.
Yeah, conscious
it's ephemeral
reality.
You could argue in the classical pedagogical Advaita sense that it's just an illusion, it's just an appearance, but depending on the degree you want to give it. But you would give it some sort of like non-reality, because you would say, hey, the true reality is the one which perceives. And what I'm saying is that it is both, that there is no separation between the perceiver and the perceived.
Yeah, you could say it is both. Okay, fine. So therefore, hold on. So therefore, if they're equally real, okay, then it would make sense for you, given your interest in reality, to spend all the energy you want. You're welcome. All the energy you want in fixing that reality which is changing.
Touché.
Good luck to you. Good luck.
Touché. No, but I know. Yeah, no, evidently. It's a very interesting philosophical conundrum we're on some degree in, because, you know what I mean? It's the suffering is us. And then, yes, we have a choice to be in the suffering and have a life related to suffering,
Shiva,
or we can focus on something else.
If suffering is real, equally real to consciousness, okay, then there is nothing much to do about suffering. I mean, if it's real, it's real. That's it. We accept it. Okay. So if it's equally real to consciousness, that's it. End of conversation. I got you. Suffering is real. Okay, let's go have a beer. Okay, or let's go cry. Let's go cry our eyes out and our heart out.
Come to Hawaii. That's what I say. Anyway, Magdi, merci beaucoup.
Okay. All right.
How do I that? Boom.
So it's really important, to make a point here. In no way am I ever saying that the world body mind is not real, therefore there is only one reality, forget about the world body mind, ignore it, there is no you, there is no me, there is no world. I never say that. Instead, I'm saying something very different, which is that there is a world, there is a body, there is a mind, but there is one reality. The reality of the world, the body, and the mind is consciousness. Okay? In the world, in the body, and the mind, which are real as consciousness, we are the quotes unquote managers of the body. We are the caretakers of the world. We do our best with the planet, with each other. We are also the managers of the mind. We pick and choose, what thoughts we share, what desires we feed. Okay, so it's not about ignoring the world, body, mind. And it's not about saying, okay, well, the world, body, mind is illusory. It's all about suffering. It's separation, sense of duality. Only consciousness is real, forget everything else. No, you can't. When you wake up in the morning, you got to wash your face. You got to go, wash up. You've got to have breakfast and go to work and pay the bill or whatever it is. And whatever your life is, you're dealing with that as well. You're dealing with that as well as consciousness, not as a real body within a real world. The reality of the body and the reality of the world is consciousness. Try to remove consciousness out of the body and out of the world and tell me what you'd be left with. Let's say. So, Adam, I just noticed you have your hand raised. Can you unmute yourself? Or maybe I need to. Are you on, Adam?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, I hear you. Yes, I hear you. I just noticed you had your hand raised.
I just wanted to say that if you really want to help somebody who is suffering, what do? Do you get down in the mud with them and also suffer? If you want to be compassionate with them, do you get down in the mud and suffer with them? Does that make you maximally effective for helping them? Or do you put your attention on that which doesn't change, that which is infinite consciousness, that which has no opinions, that which has no differences in it, and thereby turn yourself off as an individual, as a separate self? Instead of saying, I am a separate self and I have an opinion, why not just let it go? Let the separate self idea go. Let the ego idea go. Let the ideas of what compassion might be, what help might be, any ideas, just let all the ideas go and discover what is really inside underneath everything, which is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness doesn't have a thought. It doesn't have an opinion. It doesn't have a difference. It doesn't have waves of happiness or unhappiness. But what does it have? It has fullness. It has infinity in it. It has the source of everything that exists. So if we align ourselves with that, don't we become more effective? Don't we shake off the suffering ourselves so that we can help those who do suffer if we wish to?
Thank you for this sharing, Adam. It makes sense. At the same time, yes, sometimes we do get in the mud with but yes, I understand what you're saying, that it's something to look at. How do we engage in life? How do we engage in life? And we don't know. In fact, we don't know. We don't know ahead of time. But is it possible to be as presence, to have that openness, that understanding, just to explore that, can we, rather than get stuck in the images, to sort of refer to that which is real, that which is unchanging, that which we know, hopefully we know that we all are this one consciousness. Everything is that one consciousness. Everything is that one reality. And yeah, in the world, we do our best, we do our best at work, in a relationship. But it's always moment by moment. It's not like a formula, there's no formula ahead of time, But in the moment is how am I living, exploring, being, acting, thinking, perceiving in this moment. Anyways, I think it was interesting conversations. Any questions?
I think Magdi, Manoj here.
Hello, Manoj.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I do hear you. Perfect.
Okay. So on the similar line, I was wondering, since we are discussing in that direction, like the truth, God, consciousness, or whatever name we call it, if that is the foundational reality of everything, or that's the ocean and we are the waves, or phenomenal world is waves, which is made up of that foundational substance or reality, it must have some intention or something, right? I mean, why these waves are forming, why they are forming in a certain shape, why they are fighting. There has to be some direction, intention, or something, right? So,
So, okay. So when we take a look, at the world, the world is always in some sort of turmoil,
mhm,
You look at the body is step by step, towards disintegration. And when we look at the mind that's so encumbered with thoughts and mainly unhappiness, what we discover is that that which we seek, which is happiness, peace and happiness, cannot be found in the world, in the body, or in the mind. Right?
right. Mhm.
So,
I mean, most of the time, yeah.
yeah, I mean, there are little glimpses here and there, but you cannot find it there.
Right.
You have to be clear about that, because you made a little objection. You said, sometime, No, and what I'm saying is that we can come to an understanding, because you asked about the purpose. So we look at our experience and we come to the understanding that the peace and the happiness that we are looking for is not in the body, is not in the world, is not in the mind. Are you clear about that?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm clear about that, yeah.
And so because we know peace and happiness, we know it not because somebody taught us in school about it, not because my mom and dad talked to me about peace and happiness. No, I know peace and happiness because it's an inner knowing. And because I know peace and happiness, and I'm not 100% stupid, I'm going to stop looking for peace and happiness in the world, or in the body, or in the mind. You follow?
Yes, I do, yeah. I mean, I don't want to distract the conversation, but yes, theoretically, I understand it a lot of times, but my habits sometimes make me go in that direction to seek pleasure, because pleasure I confuse with happiness at times. But that's a different topic. I'm personally dealing with that. So,
For mentioning that, of course, it's important to become clear that pleasure is not happiness. And
true.
and happiness, pleasure has the other side of it, which is pain.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you go for pleasure, you're gonna get the pleasure and the pain.
True.
And if that's what you enjoy, hey, go for it. Go for it. But I'm trying to address your question. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not saying don't go for pleasure and pain. If you enjoy pleasure and pain, go for it. I mean, I'm not interested in pleasure and pain, but
Yeah, I agree.
coming back to your question. Okay, so I realized that, okay, happiness is not available in the world, body, mind. But I do know directly from my inner knowing, my inner experience, that peace and happiness is for real. So I look for it, but I'm no longer going to look for it in the world, body, mind. But I don't know where to look, because I have this belief that all there is the world, the body, and the mind.
Mm.
I never heard about consciousness or presence or awareness or the reality that perceives. I never heard about that. Nobody ever talked to me in school about that. They talked to me about becoming an engineer or, having a family. They talked to me about the world, body, mind.
Right.
But here, that's not what we talk about. We're talking about consciousness.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? Well, it's the reality that perceives. There is a reality, even if your experience is a dream, even your entire experience is a hallucinogenic experience, there is a reality that perceives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, let me look in that direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
I look in that direction, but I don't know what direction to look, because it's not a physical direction. It's not north, it's not south, it's not, in the next galaxy. It's not outwardly.
Right. Right.
So therefore, I'm looking inwardly. Inwardly, where is inwardly? I don't know what inwardly is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's inwardly? I don't know what inwardly is.
Right.
So then the teaching says, well, wait a minute. Become aware of that which is aware. What?
Yeah.
How do we become aware of that which is aware? I don't know how to become aware of that which is aware. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody asked me, well, are you aware? And I say, yes. And then somebody tells me, well, that which said yes is you, which is that which is aware. That which is aware is that which knows that it's aware. That which is aware
Right.
knows it is aware. So what I'm looking for, it may take more than that, but what I'm looking for, I realize is what I am.
Yeah, Magdi, I think, yeah, I understand that. And that has been my journey to go back to that space again and again, break the old habits of the separate self taking over. But you're on the, good track. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then I say, well, I already am what I am.
Mm-hmm.
If what I'm looking for is already what I am, if the peace and happiness that I'm looking for is already what I am, then why am I suffering? Why am I not experiencing peace and happiness? Right?
Right.
And I'm not experiencing peace and happiness because I superimpose upon that which I am, which already is there, which I am.
Mm.
I superimpose a story. I superimpose a character. I superimpose a physical reality. I superimpose a physical reality that I call Manoj and the world and my mother and my car and my house and my money. And so I superimpose realities, secondary realities. And now I become very concerned about not safeguarding those secondary realities.
Yeah, right.
Secondary reality is where I'm putting my money. That's where I'm putting my money, in the secondary realities. But there is no secondary reality. It's a superimposition.
Mm-hmm.
It is a super. So all I need to do is stop sending my checks to the wrong bank. I need to stop investing
Yeah,
in those ghosts. Follow?
right.
I don't need to actually discover myself. I don't need to discover happiness. I just stop putting money in unhappiness. I need to stop putting money pursuing pleasures and pain and money and fame and relationships and sex and drugs and great success and failure. Because all of that is putting my money in the wrong bank.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, okay, fine. We have a habit, Manoj. We have a habit of going back to the body mind. That's okay. A habit is less strong than what we say. A candle is less strong than the sunshine. The habit is less strong than consciousness. Love for truth, love for happiness is a powerhouse. Is a powerhouse. This meeting is about the powerhouse. It's about the powerhouse.
Right.
Yeah. The powerhouse is consciousness, which is the reality that I am, the reality of the self, the reality of consciousness. So don't tell yourself, oh my God, I cannot, these habits are so powerful. They're not powerful, Manoj. They're powerful because you are giving them power. You're saying they're powerful, so they become powerful. They're not powerful. Sensations, perceptions, and experiences and emotions. That's the power? No, it's not the power. It's not the power. Power is consciousness. You see?
Nice.
Power is consciousness, you see? You see? You got to be clear about that. And you need to put your money where the power bank is. You see? You see? Right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay,
So
fine.
nice.
No big deal. If sometimes we make a mistake, we send the check to the wrong account, no problem. There is a lot more available to you because consciousness is infinite potential. Don't worry. It's billions and trillions and zillions of dollars coming from consciousness. Don't you worry. Don't worry about, oh my God, I wasted, I made a mistake. There's no mistake. Forget about it. It's just consciousness. Just awareness, just one reality. So we go to that one reality over and over because it's there. It's available to us. Okay? It's available to us. Sometimes we may choose a sensation. We may choose a pleasure. We may choose an experience. We may choose the me story and the feelings and the thoughts and so. But don't stay there for too long, Manoj. Because you've done that before. You've done it over and over. You don't need to stay there, for too long. You got to move. Let it go. Meaning let it go. Don't feed the wrong beast. Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
So that's in a way, what I'm talking about, the power of consciousness, and that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Magdi. That was really good. I hope that will drive away all my habits. It was a powerful conversation last few minutes.
Yes.
Nice.
We are always available here to meet. We can always, take some time off to just contemplate. Hey, the contemplation is simple. It's simple. It's coming to being, coming to presence, just to being. Not being somebody, not being anything. It's not about the world. It's about fixing this and fixing that. It's just moments of being.
Yeah.
Opportunity to just be, simply be, and notice that being is actually your ongoing experience, and it's not being somebody.
Yeah.
Being is not being somebody, and that's 1,000,000% available to you 24/7.
Yes. Sorry, I don't want to extend this conversation further, but I had I think this may be little bit irrelevant question, but it was more of a theoretical question. I would call it theoretical irrelevant question, maybe, because it happens. I can't reconcile this part. Is like whatever we call it, reality, God. I feel that it is very powerful because it is the basis of everything. So it must have some power and some intention and some will. So sorry, I'm trying to solve a worldly problem with this question. Maybe we can discuss other time if you think this is not very relevant. My question, I was trying to. I think this is a perennial question whether this power is it all compassionate, like a mother who will forgive all your sins and she will always love you, or is it like a stern justice, like a uh, is it like a stern judge? It's like a driven by law of karma. Because I come from Indian Hindu background, so
I understand.
like is it driven everything by law of karma? Is there a grace, like how much I should strive and meditate? Will there be grace at some point that my habits will suddenly disappear and I will be in an irreversible condition of this being in this space? So I'm get confused, like is God is like a mother who will grace me this permanent peace, or is it like a law that until I do this million hours, if I cross that hour, then automatically I'm into that space because God is like a judge who is like just driven by law. Okay, this is the law because it's a law of karma, something like that. So sorry.
I understand the question, yes. So Manoj, it is God is neither compassionate towards you nor a stern judge towards you, because the you is a mistake. There is no actual separate Manoj. This Manoj is that which you perceive. So you perceive Manoj, you perceive a body, you perceive images, you perceive, you perceive sensations, right? That's what you call Manoj, right? You perceive, you perceive experiences of perception, sensation, thoughts. You, that which perceives, is not an object, is not a separate self. That which perceives in this moment and every moment is consciousness. So you are asking, is consciousness loving towards Manoj, or is it a stern judge towards Manoj? Manoj being what? Manoj being what? Outside of your belief. Now there is a belief. There is a belief that I am Manoj, right?
Right.
I am Manoj. Now what is this I? What is this I which is Manoj? There's a belief that I am Manoj. What is this I that is Manoj? And what is Manoj? It's a good question. So I ask myself, what is this I that is Manoj? And what is Manoj?
No, I think that's a great answer. Yeah, I didn't think from that perspective, that this question is from Manoj's perspective, who doesn't really exist as such. It's more of a bundle of thoughts and perception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I is
that's awesome.
But I is undeniable.
Correct. Yeah.
So I is undeniable. And Manoj is a shifting realm of thoughts, perceptions, sensations, memories, whatever. But I is not a shifting realm of I is I is I. Yes? So the question then is, God a compassionate or stern towards towards what? Wait a minute, towards what? Towards
Right,
a field of images and
it's like asking dream character asking, is dreamer compassionate towards me or stern towards me? It's irrelevant question. Yeah.
in fact, you believe that the dream character is asking a question. But a dream character is a series of images and sensations and perceptions. It cannot ask a question. An image or a thought or a perception cannot ask a question, right?
Yeah, then who is asking the question?
Right, there's only one reality, I am asking this question, I consciousness. I'm asking this question. I am asking myself the question, am I compassionate or am I stern towards my noise? This is the game that consciousness is playing with itself.
Yeah.
The game of ignorance. But we don't need to have a theory about the game of consciousness. What we need to become clear about is the following. Manoj is a shifting set of perceptions, sensations, images, feelings, blah, blah.
Right.
And a feeling or a sensation or a thought cannot ask a question. Has no issues. Is not asking, is God compassionate towards me or is God punishing me and stern towards me? So the whole realm of the Indian tradition that's behind this question has a fault in it. There is a fallacy in it. There is a flaw in that line of thinking, no matter if it's lasted for 10 million years, it doesn't matter. There is a flaw which you can understand right now. Wait a minute, there's something off with that line of reasoning. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So be clear,
Yep.
not to confuse yourself, meaning consciousness, with a set of images, sensations, perceptions.
Yeah, it's very, this answer reconciles that conflict I had. Yeah, very great answer actually.
Okay, Manoj.
Thank you, Magdi.
You're welcome. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Well, as usual, it's very, very lovely and very beautiful to be with you all. Holger, thank you. And thank you for your help with the recordings and the posting. Thank you, Holger. And David, nice to meet you, David. Nathan, to see you. Nathan, Manoj, beautiful. And Carol, okay, lovely to see you, Carol. Adam, thank you. Frank, yes. Frank. George, hi George. Salut Shiva, merci Shiva. Maria, hola Maria.
Hi.
Hello Maria. Richard, hello Richard. Grace, lovely to see you, Grace. And Lisa, okay, beautiful Lisa. And Holly, hello Holly. Zoe, John, Isaac, and Emmanuel. Thank you all, very lovely.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you very much.
Maggie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.